The red dust of Kepler 442b swirled around David's boots as he sprinted through the crystalline forest. Behind him, the hunting party's energy signatures pulsed hot on his scanner, 12 Zenari warriors, their bioluminescent markings blazing with killing intent. In his arms, the child trembled. She couldn't have been more than 6 in human years, though her iridescent skin and the delicate antennae crowning her head marked her as distinctly non-human. Anna. He'd learned her name 3 days ago when he'd found her hiding in the wreckage of what appeared to be a royal transport vessel. "Please," she whispered in fractured standard, "leave me. They want only me." David's jaw tightened. "Not happening, kid." The arrows came without warning. The first one grazed his shoulder, and he felt the burning immediately, not from the physical wound but from something else. Something that crawled through his bloodstream like liquid fire. Tainted arrows. The Zenari's most feared weapon, laced with a neurotoxin that didn't kill quickly. It rewrote neural pathways, turned the victim's own nervous system into a prison of agony that could last for decades. The second arrow caught him in the back. David stumbled, his vision already beginning to blur. The poison worked fast. He could feel his synapses misfiring, his muscles beginning to lock. He had perhaps 30 seconds before full paralysis set in. He lurched toward a massive crystal formation, an ancient Zenari cryogenic shrine, if his xenoarchaeology training served him right. The structures were scattered across this planet, remnants of a civilization that had mastered the art of suspended animation millennia before humans even discovered fire. "Listen to me," he gasped, setting Anna down as gently as his failing muscles would allow. "That console, the blue symbols, press them in sequence." Anna's large, amber eyes filled with tears that refracted light like prisms. "What will happen?" "Stasis pod, medical grade." His words came slower now, each syllable a battle. "I'll sleep until the poison burns out, could be years, decades, but I'll live." "And you?" Anna asked, her small hand clutching his tactical vest. "I'll be fine. You need to run east, follow the binary star. There's a human settlement. Tell them David Reyes sent you. They'll protect you." The hunting party's voices grew closer, their guttural war cries echoing through the crystal columns. Anna looked at him with an expression far too ancient for her young face. "You saved me. I will not forget. Just go." But she was already moving, her small fingers dancing across the console with surprising precision. The crystal shrine hummed to life, panels sliding open to reveal a pristine stasis chamber lined with biogel and quantum regulators. David's legs gave out. Anna caught him, impossibly strong for her size, and guided him into the pod. The last thing he saw before the gel engulfed him was her face, solemn and determined, as she pressed her small hand against the transparent cover. "I promise," she said, "I will find you." Then the world turned to ice and silence. David's first conscious thought was pain, not the searing agony of the poison, but the dull ache of muscles that hadn't moved in. How long? His eyes refused to open at first, crusted with the residue of the biogel. When he finally forced them apart, he found himself staring at a vaulted ceiling of pure white marble veined with the same iridescent material that comprised the Zenari crystal forests. This wasn't the shrine. He sat up slowly, his body protesting every movement. He was on a bed, no, a platform of some kind, covered in fabric so fine it felt like water against his skin. Around him, the room stretched vast and opulent, filled with holographic star maps and artifacts he recognized as Zenari in origin. But these weren't archaeological relics. They were active, functioning pieces of technology. "Is he David Reyes?" The voice made him turn sharply, and he immediately regretted the movement as his vision swam. When it cleared, he found himself looking at a Zenari woman. She stood at the entrance to the chamber, flanked by 4 guards in ceremonial armor. But it was her that commanded attention, tall and regal, her iridescent skin marked with the intricate bioluminescent patterns that denoted the highest castes of Zanari society. Her antennae, delicate and branching like silver filigree, were crowned with what could only be described as a diadem of living light. His voice came out as a croak. She moved forward with fluid grace, and as she drew closer, David felt recognition stir in his chest. Those eyes, amber and ancient and somehow familiar. On it. She smiled, and he saw the child he'd saved in the curve of her lips, the tilt of her head. You remembered. How long? The question fell from his lips like a stone. 52 years, 4 months, and 17 days. She knelt beside his platform, and the gesture was so unexpected, so profoundly wrong given her obvious status, that David tried to protest. She silenced him with a raised hand. I searched for you for 37 years. The Zanari have long memories and longer grudges. The faction that hunted me fell to civil war. It took time to unite the clans, to end the bloodshed, to become strong enough to demand answers about the human who died protecting a child of the royal line. I'm not dead. No, her smile turned sad. The poison didn't kill you, but it changed you. The medical scans show significant neural restructuring. You will need time to adjust, to relearn certain motor functions, but you will recover. David looked down at his hands, flexing fingers that felt simultaneously his own and foreign. And you became, what? A queen. The queen. Anna's expression grew solemn. When word spread of what you did, a human who took tainted arrows for a Zanari child who asked for nothing in return, it changed something in my people. You became a legend David Reyes, the protector, the selfless one. I used that legend to unite the clans, to end the wars that had ravaged our world for centuries. I promised them that if they followed me, I would create a society worthy of the sacrifice you made. I didn't sacrifice anything, David said quietly. I just couldn't let a kid die. Precisely. Anna reached out, her hand hovering over his. You saw a child, not a political tool, not an alien, just a child who needed help. That simple act of compassion resonated across an entire civilization. She stood then, her regal bearing returning. You are in the grand palace of the unified clans. You are here as an honored guest, but also, she paused, choosing her words carefully, I would ask something of you. What? Stay, help me build this new world. You have knowledge of human systems, human thought processes. You could serve as an ambassador, a bridge between our species. The Galactic Council recognizes our sovereignty now, and humans are among the key players in the interstellar community. Your presence here would. Anna, David interrupted gently. I'm 50 years out of date. Whatever diplomatic knowledge I had is probably obsolete. Then learn again. There was passion in her voice now, the same determination he'd glimpsed in the child who'd activated his stasis pod. I am queen because you gave me the chance to grow up. Let me return the favor. Stay, recover, and when you're ready, help me show the galaxy that different species can work together, can value each other's lives above tribal allegiances. David looked at her, this powerful queen who knelt beside the bed of a washed-up explorer, and saw in her something he'd thought he'd lost when he entered that stasis pod. Purpose. You know, he said slowly, I don't even know if the settlement I sent you to still exists. It does. It's now New Terra, a thriving colony of 40,000 humans and 20,000 Zanari living in integrated communities. Your name is on the founding monument. Despite everything, the lost decades, the changed body, the alien world, David laughed. Of course it is. Anna's expression softened. You have time to decide. For now, rest, heal. When you're ready, I'll show you what we've built, what you made possible. She turned to leave, but David called out, Anna, thank you for not forgetting. The queen of the unified clans looked back at him, and in that moment, she was both the frightened child in his arms and the powerful leader who'd transformed a civilization. How could I forget? She said softly. You taught me that some things are worth any sacrifice. I've spent 50 years trying to prove I was worth yours." As she left, her guards falling into formation around her, David lay back against the impossibly soft platform and stared at the ceiling. 50 years. A whole lifetime lost. But as he looked at his hands, felt the alien sun warming his skin through the vast windows, he realized that perhaps some things were worth the wait. After all, he'd gone to sleep protecting a child. He'd woken up to find he'd helped save a world.